What's going on, Cougar sports fans? Welcome back to another episode of Cougs on the Clock. I am your host for this week, Alexi Luibil, and I'm joined by
Dylan Kiviat.
Look at that camera. Today we're going to be going over Wazzu volleyball, soccer, college football, where we had the bye week this week. Then we'll go into NFL, big trade in the NBA this week, MLB playoffs coming up, starting today actually, and then we'll go over some birthdays as always. So we'll start out with Wazzu volleyball, 2 huge wins this week. We started out at Oregon State, won that one 3-0. Magda Yelestrova, 10 kills, Iman Isanovic, 2 aces, and Argentina Ung, 29 assists. A really just overall dominant game in that one. And then we went to number 6, Oregon, and we took that one as well, 3-1. That one, Iman Isanovic, 14 kills, Magda Yelestrova, 7 blocks, and Argentina Ung, 39 assists in that one.
And if I'm not mistaken, Oregon won. They won 20 straight games at home, I think, before that loss. So that was definitely a pretty impressive win, I think, for the Cougs.
Magda Yelestrova was given Defensive Player of the Week. Cougs are now 14-1. We have won 13 straight. We're now ranked 4th in the nation, which is our highest ever as a program, and we got 2 home games this week.
Yeah, unfortunately for the soccer, though, came up short, losing 0-2. So at least we won in volleyball, though, right? You know.
Yeah, volleyball, huge games. We got another huge one this weekend. We're playing against number 3 Stanford on Sunday. But in soccer, unfortunately, 0-3 in conference play now, losing to multiple ranked opponents, falling out of the rankings most likely. We were heavily outshot in both games and just had very poor offense. Our one goal of the last week was scored by Margie DeTrizio, starting off the USC game. That'll bring us into college football. Big week, despite us having a bye week. Lots of big Pac-12 play.
Yeah.
Couple teams ahead of us losing moved us up to 13 in the rankings.
That Boulder USC game was quite the shootout, though.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams, 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Sanders played great too. So. Yeah. I feel like that game was a lot closer than it on the box score. It was a lot closer than it actually was, because I feel like USC for majority of the game they were dominating, and then towards the end Boulder got closer. But
yeah,
I think Boulder, they're showing who they actually are. They're a team that's the program is turning around, but they're not at that Ohio State, USC, powerhouse football team level. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I think the past 2 weeks have proven Colorado's a good team. Deion Sanders is a great coach. They've got a lot of good recruits, but you can't take a 1-11 team and turn them into a contender immediately. Got destroyed by Oregon, and that USC game, it wasn't close until the end.
Yeah, they got dominated.
I want to say it was 48-21 with 2 minutes left in the third. And
then fourth quarter they outscored USC by a good amount, but
Colorado started to make the comeback. But elsewhere in the Pac-12. My favorite game of the week, Oregon State beating 10-ranked Utah 21-7. Obviously helped us out a lot, made Oregon State look good. So
yeah, but just goes to show that win against Oregon State was impressive. Oregon State's a good team. Utah is not bad either. So
yeah,
people were saying, "Oh, Oregon State's," because a few of my friends are telling me, "Oh, Oregon State's not that good," but they beat Utah, so obviously they have to be somewhat decent. They're ranked right now, so
yeah,
just makes the Cougs look better.
This is a season where Oregon State and Wazzu are both proving that we belong in Power 5 conferences.
Definitely, yeah.
There have been rumors this week where we've been trying to get into the Big 12, which would be huge for us. We're really showing that we belong. Elsewhere in the Pac-12, UW overcame Arizona in a close one. Oregon destroyed Stanford. Cal beat Arizona State, and biggest game of the week, Ole Miss over LSU. That was an incredible game to watch. 55-49. I want to say
Yeah, that was quite the
final
high
score
scoring game there.
And that also actually helped us move up because we jumped LSU from their loss. And now next week we got UCLA.
Right, yeah, that should be a test. UCLA, they're unranked currently, but they're 3-1. I feel like their opponents haven't been too good though, but their defense is pretty solid. They're ranked. They're allowing 11 points per game. They're super good against the rush as well. So their quarterback's been pretty impressive as well.
Yeah, UCLA, not a bad team by any means. So cannot be overlooking that one as we look to improve to 5-0 next week.
Yeah, it should be. If they beat UCLA, they could. Well, I don't think they'll crack top 10, but I mean they'll be up. I mean they're 13 right now, so
Yeah,
probably only going to move
loses.
up. Exciting for sure.
Yeah. With that, we'll dive into NFL. First thing, Miami.
Yeah, that was definitely. I think the Bills, like the team that people thought the Bills were, they showed up. They showed up on Sunday.
Yeah.
Josh Allen looked like the MVP caliber player that everyone thinks that he was before. Because I feel like, for game against the Jets, he wasn't very good, and first few games he started off kind of rough, but he was great. He came out throwing
Yeah.
right away to he found Diggs for 3 touchdowns, I think it was.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean,
no,
week
the
one-
Bill, that was impressive because the Dolphins have looked great so far, to start the season. So
Yeah.
that was, I was expecting the game to be a lot closer than it was. I didn't think the Bills would just, blow the waters out with them, but
Yeah, I mean, Bills and Chiefs, both teams, everybody knew they were going to be elite, lost in week one. That was, week one's always just a feeling out process. I don't think those two losses were anything to dig deep into.
Yeah.
Both of those teams stayed hot with big wins this weekend. You want to talk about the Chiefs game?
yeah, well, I'm a Jets fan, so obviously I'm a little upset about it. I felt like the officiating could have been a lot better than it was. I feel like, especially late in the game, that Sauce Gardner call, you could call it. I mean, it was a holding, but it's just
Yeah.
there's a time and a place for that penalty. You know what I mean? I just feel like, I don't know. How do you feel? Were you watching the game? Did you see the penalty?
I was watching parts of it. I did see a replay of the penalty.
Yeah, there was
Not-
definitely a little contact, and Sauce Gardner's
Yeah.
he's known to be a pretty physical defender.
Yeah.
But it just sucks because that just changed the whole game. I mean, that penalty. I mean, pretty the whole momentum just swung in the Chiefs' way.
Yeah, I personally think Sauce Gardner gets away with a lot, but so it's nice to see those calls actually getting made now. But it was definitely a debatable one, and obviously, Chiefs have been no stranger to getting calls in their favor.
Yeah.
Also around the NFL, though, Eagles 49ers staying perfect, both
Yeah.
4-0, last two undefeated teams. Then
They look like the clear, best
49ers have been dominant. I really
Yeah.
think that they're the best team in the NFL right now, unfortunately.
team. McCaffrey's look unreal.
Yeah, McCaffrey
Yeah.
dominated last week.
Brock Purdy, I feel like it's like, where did this guy come from? This guy's,
Yeah.
it's like, the Niners are with Purdy, they're great. I mean, with Garoppolo they were decent, but Purdy, it's like
Yeah.
all the players love playing under him, and
He really elevated that team to the next level.
yeah,
Next week, we got Jags, Bills in London. That's a huge game.
Yeah.
Ravens, Steelers is another big one. And then Sunday night, Cowboys, 49ers.
ooh, that's a good game.
In my opinion, the clear game of the week.
Oh yeah, for sure.
49ers obviously come in 4-0. Cowboys coming in 3-1.
Is it in Dallas or is it in San Francisco?
I'm not actually sure. I'll have to check
think-
that later. But yeah, Cowboys 3-1, only lost to Arizona, and Arizona's looked shockingly good this year. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah,
but
they have
Josh
been.
Dobbs.
Yeah, Josh
playing
Dobbs
like
has
a
been a pleasant
top
surprise.
tier quarterback.
Yeah, I wonder what they're gonna do when Kyler Murray comes back, because he's supposed to come back probably week 6, week 7. So
Yeah, we'll
have
see.
to see what they do. Should we talk about the NBA, the big trade that everyone's everyone's buzzing about.
Yeah,
Damian Lillard.
Damian Lillard to the Milwaukee Bucks playing alongside Giannis.
Yeah, that should be Damian Lillard and Giannis on the same team. I mean, they already won a championship with Drew Holiday, so I think the expectation's no short than a championship.
Yeah.
And I think the Celtics with Drew Holiday now, like definitely the Bucks and the Celtics are definitely the two front runners in the Eastern Conference. And
yeah.
the West, the West, you got the Nuggets, you got the Suns still. People are not talking. I mean, the Nuggets are the reigning champs. It's like I saw like a power ranking where the Nuggets were 5. It's like they should still be number 1.
Yeah.
The reigning champions, But Suns with Bradley Beal, Durant, and Devin Booker, offense is great, but I'm kind of worried about their depth. I feel like their depth on their bench is not the best, and no defense either. So
yeah,
we'll see.
West's got a lot of good teams. I mean,
yeah,
Lakers with LeBron will always be good.
Yeah, if the Clippers can stay healthy with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, they could be. They have the potential to make a run in the playoffs, but it's just a matter if they can stay healthy or not.
Yeah. Of course, Mavericks still have Luka.
Yeah, and Kyrie
Luka's
Irving.
still great. And a full season of those two could be really good.
Yeah.
Make up for last year.
But that's if Kyrie doesn't have any like off-court, drama, which it seems to never happen. There's always some buzz around Kyrie's name, so it should be interesting.
And then back in the East, you mentioned both Milwaukee and the Celtics, but Miami Heat as well.
Yeah.
With emo Jimmy Butler.
Emo Jimmy Butler, yeah. That was funny, that interview. I saw that. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like Miami, everyone thought Damian Lillard was going to go there. So I think with Damian Lillard, they would have been put over the top. But it's like, I guess you can't really doubt Jimmy Butler because he proved people wrong last year. But
yeah, Jimmy Butler is amazing, and
and as long as they have
we're good.
As long as they have Eric Spoelstra, they're going to be a good team because Eric Spoelstra is one of the best coaches of all time. So as long as I have him, I don't they're going to be they'll be there in the playoffs for sure. But with Drew Holiday though, I think that because the Celtics got Porzingis and Drew Holiday, so I really think that the Celtics can definitely give the Bucks a run for their money. That should be a great matchup when they play, early in the regular season, probably in the playoffs too. Yeah. Because Drew Holiday won the Bucks a championship, and I think Drew Holiday is definitely an upgraded version of Marcus Smart. So, Celtics should definitely be contending for a championship as well this year.
For sure. Speaking of playoffs, it's time for playoffs in baseball. Unfortunately, Mariners just fell short, just a game short of that 6th seed. Won some games late, but couldn't overcome a rough September. So the AL finalized Baltimore number 1, Houston number 2, taking the division on the last day. And then number 3 seed Twins taking on the Blue Jays. Twins won game 1 today.
Right, yeah.
And then Rays at the 4 seed, Rangers at the 5. Rangers clobbered them in game 1 today.
They did, yeah. No, they jumped on Glasnow early, and Montgomery pitched great for the Rangers. I think he was a great addition at the deadline. I think he added much needed depth to the rotation. They're not going to have. Is Scherzer going to be back for if they advance? Would he be back?
I'm not sure, and I'm not sure it's really going to matter.
I think he would be back. Scherzer, and DeGrom's still out for the year, but that's my only concern with the Rangers. I just feel like their pitching depth is just to compete with a team like the Astros. Like it's going to be a problem. But their lineup's incredible with Seager and Simeon and Josh Jung and all those guys.
Yeah, I think they overperformed early on in the year, and then kind of started to fall back down to earth later on. They're a good team. I don't think they're really going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
But that might just be me hating them because I'm a Mariners fan.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, I have them taking this series against the Rays. I have the Blue Jays coming back and beating the Twins in the next 2 games.
I don't know about that. I think on paper the Blue Jays are better, but that doesn't really matter in October. It's about who gets hot, and I like the Twins pitching staff a lot. I think Lopez pitched great today. I like Joe Ryan a lot. I think the Twins could definitely make some noise in the playoffs, no doubt.
Yeah, and then the NL Braves at the 1 seed, of course, they were dominant all year. Dodgers 2 seed, Brewers 3, Diamondbacks 6 in the first round, and then Phillies 4, Marlins 5.
Yeah, Diamondbacks are up 4-3 right now. Actually, Burns already given up 4 runs in 3 1/3 innings, so their Diamondbacks already jumping on Corbin Burns.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good series. Diamondbacks Brewers.
That's
I don't really
good
know.
one, yeah.
I think that could go either way. I think I definitely have to go with the Brewers just because I think their pitching gives them the edge.
Yeah.
Burns is getting rocked right now, but Diamondbacks are hungry though. Corbin Carroll is great. Zach Allen.
Yeah.
That always been a contender for Cy Young the whole year. So
For sure.
either of those teams can win, honestly. I think.
Yeah.
But, what's your World Series pick?
My World Series pick, I have the Braves winning it all. They're so dominant. AL, it's a lot harder for me to forecast.
Yeah.
I mean, we got 2 really good series right here, and then they'll be good again next round. But I've got the Astros, unfortunately, going there, but the Braves winning it all. Okay,
yeah. I honestly hate the Braves. Obviously they're great. I don't want to be boring, so I'm gonna go Phillies. I'm going Phillies Orioles. We're gonna get both here. Why not?
Yeah.
Even though the Orioles are a little bit inexperienced, why not? Makes the conversation a little bit more fun.
Yeah, I like the Orioles a lot. I hope they do good. I just don't see it happening this year.
Yeah. Only thing is, they're very inexperienced, and Felix Bautista going down because him and Cano were their 1-2 punch in the bullpen. So with Bautista going down, that's definitely going to hurt them, especially in the playoffs. But I'm definitely rooting for the Orioles. I think a lot of people are just because they're the underdogs and they were so bad a few years ago, and it's a great story with Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman and all those guys coming in.
Yeah. Yeah, with that, we'll wrap it up with some birthdays. Starting it off, Hall of Fame goalie Glenn Hall turns 92 today. One of the greatest goaltenders of all time. Won a couple Stanley Cups in the 50s with Chicago. And staying on the topic of Hall of Famers, Dave Winfield, legendary outfielder for the Yankees and Padres. Won some World Series back in the 70s. It is his 72nd birthday today.
It's also Derrick Rose's birthday, C.J. Stroud's birthday, and it is Zlatan Ibrahimovic's birthday as well. Jonathan Isaac's birthday as well too.
Yeah, for sure. And last but certainly not least, the Vice President of Special Projects Division, Gunnar Scott Miller. Happy birthday to him, of course. Murrow Ambassador, super helpful to all of us here. But yeah, I think that'll be it.
Okay.
Make sure to follow Wazzu Sports Net on Instagram and TikTok, Wazzu Sports Net on Twitter, and Cable A Productions on YouTube. You guys have a good one.